welcome to our first in the series of basing series. We're going to do a few videos on basing products, how to use them, ideas with them, that sort of stuff. We're also going to be reviewing a lot of the company stuff out there. This week we have quite a haul from Gamer's Grass. We've used Gamer's Grass for 4 or 5 years on all of our commissions. They are easy to get hold of. They always get them in stock. They're delivered from Poland, which normally takes a couple of days to get sent over. They've got a massive range. From when they started, the range is just increasing. Every couple of weeks there's new products going up there, and they've been really kind and sent us some freebies over to do some quick reviews on them. I say we've used this product. Our main reason for using it is when we get an order in, if someone reorders from us in 12 months time, we like to be able to go back, create the product for the person again. As an example, they're actually stormtroopers done as dark troopers for Imperial Assault. One of our customers has had all of their bases, I don't know if you can see just in front of that, done in what we called it at the time, Tatooine sand bases, and we used the burnt grass from Gamer's Grass from day one, and we've used them ever since. I think it's more than a year. I think it's probably about 18-19 months. Every time he's come back to us, we've used the same tufts. We've always been able to order them again, and they've always been super consistent, exactly the same as they were the first day we used them. And we've gone over that into Legion. We started doing the snowy bases, which you can see in the eWeb piece that we've done. So we're going to have a quick look through what we've got, and then I'm going to go into some of the bits, some of the stuff. I'll show you some of the stuff that we've actually done, and some ideas. I've got some spare bases here, and we're going to show you quickly on there how to make a great looking base. So let's have a look. The ones that we're using a lot of at the moment, let me just clear this away, which you can actually see on this piece, is these ones. I'll do a close-up so you can actually see that. They are winter tufts. Let's go to the close cam. So, on the bench. So, winter tufts. These are the small ones. You get about 144 in the packet. They come really well protected now, so even if they get squashed, they're not actually squashing the tufts down. So 5mm winter small tuft. As you can see, these are upside down. The 5mm, but we went for the wild option on them ones. So we've got 5mm and wild. The wild, that you can see the 5mm there, are just all the same little circles, and then you've got the wild ones that are just sporadic and look wild. Again, on this piece we have used both. We've used the wild ones that you can see. That's a wild one running across there. That one there is just one of the 5mm ones. Used in different places, different sizes, sort of thing. So they're the ones that we're using quite a lot of at the moment. Obviously, with Legion being quite popular, the snow troopers and stuff like that, we use them. We'll show you a couple of things that we've done with them. there's a lot of these that we're getting in for the first time to try them. So again, thank you to Gamer's Grass for sending them over. These are the marshland sets, so you can buy them in a set rather than in that first one, which was just one strip. This has 4 pieces, and they're all slightly different colours. So we've got the darker ones, we have the lighter green ones, and then a couple in between, and then the burnt ones. Let's see which says on it. Marshland Wild Tuft set. You get 140 tufts, and again, for doing like a scenic piece, you're not always going to have all one, so having a couple of different tuft types and colours slightly different are going to go well on a piece, rather than it just like if you were to just use static grass and just use one static grass over the whole thing. This gives you the option of putting tufts really close to each other, filling them up, just a little bit more control in where your tuft's going, and I'll show you on one of the rocks that we're going to do. Then I actually wanted more of some of out of them, so they've sent us these as well, which are, we have Swamp 4mm and Burned 6mm. Again, both wild. I do prefer the wild because you can always cut them to shape to suit. You can always cut little 5mm circles out if you wanted the other ones as well. Again, after that, we have 2 more. These are the 2 more of the wild ones. Sorry, it's best to see them up there. These are 70 of each, and again, they're out of the marshland sets. You get 1/2 of one of them in the marshland set. I've basically gone for a few of each. Then these are the ones that we've got in for the first time, and they look fantastic. They're the long tufts, so these are 12mm. You can see them in the box. I'm going to get them. So there you go. That is, if you can see in comparison to the model, it's halfway up his backside. So they're quite long, really soft. I think these would be good for the edge of ponds and stuff like that. So I'll put them ones back in there so I don't squash them. Wild XL Tufts, strong green 12mm. And then we have, that's them, 2 more lots of the XL Tufts, jungle and desert green. Exactly the same things, just different variants on the colour. And as you can see, the wild, I do like the wild ones. And these, first time I've seen these ones, and I'll be honest with you, didn't know what to expect. These are like heather and bracken, and they're really, wow. Don't know if you can see that on the close cam. Let's see if we can get it. There we go. So they are like little, if you can imagine, very, very small toilet brushes. They're probably at the most 2mm spikes on the toilet brushes, but they make it look they look like bracken and heather and stuff like that. That's really nice. So that is the spiky green wild tufts. I'll say bracken, heather, that sort of stuff. If you want them, yeah, that's what you want to be picking up. I wouldn't even know where to start if I hadn't bought these. If I wanted bracken or heather on my base, I wouldn't even know where to start. Perfect idea. And that's the dense green tufts, 70mm, again wild. They do look dense. Again, they're just clumps, really tightly packed. That's a lot of... So they're all the basic ones. As I said, we've been using their product for some time, and as you can see, that's our tray that's, there we go, that's full of their stuff. There's the browns in there. There's my big base full of the sand ones. They're really consistent. The ones that I bought this week are the same as the ones that I bought last year. So if you're doing an army and then suddenly want to go, I like that base and I'm going to have to redo all these bases, like orcs, if you had to rebase all your orcs, you could go straight back, get the same stuff again. So they also do mixed flower sets. Now, you'll see on the next product how these are used really well. But anyone doing like flowers and stuff, you've got to go in with the heather and the bracken. You've got the purple, I can't remember, well, heather, the purple heather to go in with the green. You've got white. I've always liked the white to use. Again, I was possibly going to use some on this for snow covered. And then you get a packet of red. It's bright red. And obviously bright yellow. So they're all, you would use these more sparingly. A little clump here, a little clump there. So they basically do look like mixed flowers. Mixed flowers, wild shrub set. Again, they're really, really inexpensive. I think the sets are it's £5 for a set. I think that set where you get a pack of each is round about a tenner, which it would take me longer. I know people out there make their own. I know there's other companies that make them, but just to be able to go, that's the ones I want, that's the colour, there, I'll have them. To go back in a year's time, that's the ones I want them again, and they're still there, exactly the same as they were. But what the nice people at Gamers Grass sent us, which I've never seen before, was a set of their new 60mm round Highland bases. Now these are, let me just take the sticky off the bottom. Now these are pre-made, pre-painted, pre-tufted bases. So that base is as it came out of the box. I've done nothing to it. I've added no paint. It's a resin base. It's got beautifully detailed rocks all the way through it. Then, as I said, you've got the tufts. They've mixed the tufts in, so you've got some brown ones, some long ones, the milder green ones. Then this is what I was on about before. I was going to show you about doing it. These are the tufts squashed into the crags where you would normally get tufts of grass coming out of. These are jammed in a little bit just where you would get them. Obviously these are all stones. They're all painted. That set is the Highland bases round 62mm. They have winter bases, arid steep bases, badlands bases. They also do bases by the different shapes, sizes. I'll show you the other one. Let's look at the sticky. Just I'll take that off because I do have something that I quite fancy putting on these of my own. So that's the second one. Again, rocks in different places. I think they're all going to be different. They look as though they're being handmade as well, which is absolutely phenomenal. I think it's a resin base and then painted and tufted and that sort of stuff. Let's go to an extreme close-up. So there we go. That's much better, you can see it now. So the detail on it is, you've even got the mud on the rocks, the flowers, multiple different what's they called? Coloured tufts, lengths of tufts, all that. I'm trying to have a look. I haven't got any miniatures off a base, and I'm not going to quickly snap on off either. So, let me have a look at this fella. So yeah, it is a bit small being a dwarf on a big base, but obviously you're going to have to cut off the bottom bit of this and then just find somewhere for it to sit in amongst the tufts and then glue them down. They're going to be absolutely, yeah, I think I might be buying myself some of them as well. Let's say I think those two were around about the £11 mark, £12 mark for pre-made bases that you don't have to bother with. You just stick your painted miniature on. I think it's really nice. They're not the cheapest in the world, but for the quality and the work that's been put onto that, I know there's a lot of people that come to us for having their stuff based. I can see us actually basing a lot of people's gear with this sort of base. A little bit extravagant, but I think worth it. As I said, I've just looked through the website there. They do a pack of 8 32mm bases for just over £13. I've seen eBay sellers, including ourselves, selling very basic bases, just with sand, paint, various colours, various washes, and we sell them for round about the same price as this, and even though these are a lot higher quality, might look at actually, if the nice people over at Gamers Grass would let us, I'd actually like to stock these in the shop. They do look, sorry, I'm looking through the website. So that's their new product that's featured on the website, which will be on the links below. Again, they are, and just one last look, they're really nice. So I'll do a quick couple of so we've got one of the snow bases, one of the snow bases there, a couple of other bases. So there we have the sand base. What we used for the sand base was Vallejo's Brown Earth, which we did the first ever YouTube video for basing and stuff like that. It was our first ever video. It did really well, and that was what we used on these bases. We use it for, I don't know if you can see that, all of our Legion and stuff like that. Anything that wants a sand base, that's the tufts that we use. We use the desert sand, the dried grass ones. So, just so I can quickly show you how easy these things are to fit. We tend to use either a pair of tweezers, which I've masterfully lost. So just a pair of tweezers. Grab the tuft by its short and curlies. Now, I don't know if you can see, they are actually There you go. Stuck to my finger. It's not coming off. But I tend to use a little dab of glue as well, because just to secure it. And what I tend to do is place it on roughly where I want, and then I use a spike to just push through, and then one little push in the center with the spike of the, and you get the first one. Once it dries and once it's actually stuck down, the main reason that we use the PVA or wood glue is once it's stuck down, if you then want to pull some of the tufts out just to give it that final bit of pruning or detail, you can do that, or you can also move it round and put it into certain places, push it and get it to basically to position how you want. Now the idea behind that, he said, looking for the rock base that I've lost. Ah, right, here it is. So this is a rock base we quickly made for someone, and we had a couple of extra, just some of the GW basing material, our own cast resin rocks. The idea of this one was, we've got the little black tufts, or the burnt tufts, and what we're going to do is pull one of the tufts off, put it on there. Oop, so you can see it. And then, like we were cutting Sunday dinner, I'll tell you what I'll do. Where's my cutters? Pair of cutters, and just snipping it in two tufts for the price of one. So now it's gone half the thickness, and what we can do is, again, just a little bit of PVA. He says not being able to get it on. We can put it in right in the, like the fold of the rock, and just push it in, and then the other bit we can look at the, so there, I don't know if you can see it on the rock, there's a big hole there. Push it in, and that. Once that goes dry, I'll be able to, oh, there we go, a little bit, push it all out and get it to go a bit more bushy, that sort of thing. But you can get it right into the grooves. If you were trying to do that with a flock machine, it's just going to speckle everywhere. This gives you a lot more control. Obviously we would then put some snow over the top, and that's the base complete. The other good thing that we have tried there is other ones, but one of the things that we noticed when we were painting, continuing to paint the miniatures, some of the other tufts that we used didn't react well to paint afterwards. So it became apparent when we did some Darth Vaders. If you can see on here, the glow on the snow and on the actual tuft, the glaze that we used on there took to the tufts really well. But what also happened is it didn't move around, so the other side, it only coated one side of the tuft, and that that the fact that it took the paint, and it's only a glaze, it's not exactly a high pigment. It took it, it stuck, and it continued the effect really well. And I'd not had any tufts that had really took the paint that well. They tended to take the paint and clump, so you got horrible clumps of basically of red grass. So we really like this version of things compared to them. Now these, as I said, are the ones that we've used on there. Again, to do the base, it's just put it on, find the gap where you want it. Now we're going a little bit overboard with the glue, but dries clear, disappears, and you're left with a base with one, okay. See, two tufts fitted. Again, once it's dried, and I'll show you on these ones. So if I'd wanted to cut away some of this one here, it's now quite well secured. The PVA just finishes off. I like to use the tack that Gamers Grass put on theirs to hold them in place for the time being, and then let the PVA settle. Once that's gone, you're probably going to pull the base material off underneath before pulling the tuft away. That's where we did some of we pulled some of them out round there, just so the snow was showing through them. So that's what we have from this product. We'll be back with more. Gamers Grass are over on their website, gamersgrass.com. Have a look over. They've got loads of different. This isn't the entire range that we've had today. There's loads more stuff, and all of the pictures that they've got really do show the product off really well. And you can choose what you want. And the really fast delivery, the quality. Yeah, we go back to them because of the quality. It's always the same. Some of the other stuff I've just noticed they're doing alien blue, pink, and turquoise tufts, but when I did this fella, again, these were the brown, like a brown coloured one. I airbrushed them to give them a red tint, just so that it looked like alien landscape, hence the black and red base. They've actually started doing them now, so it saves me a job of doing that. And again, that one's quite a heavy amount on the base. I say head over there, have a look at the products. Please like, share and subscribe to the channel. And we'll be doing a lot more of these. We've got some of the Vallejo products to come in. What we're going to do is we'll probably do some more with the Gamers Grass. We're going to take a base live-ish from that, which is just a plain black base, laying down whichever one of the basing materials we use, the dry brushing, the adding of bits and pieces, and then the final thing of putting in the grass tufts. As I say, keep watching. The next one shouldn't be too long. Thank you very much. Catch you on the next one.